Well, last video I discovered there's a fuel filter back here. So we changed it, drove around, not even 10 miles later, it clogged up again. So that means there is junk inside of the fuel tank. Let's drain the gas. I think we're gonna pop out the fuel tank and try to do a thorough cleaning of it. I think there's like 1/8 of a tank, and I think this is a 8 to 10 gallon, something like that, tank. So do the math on that. We got a 5-gallon jug up here, rigging it up with the electronic fuel pump to just pump out whatever's in the tank. And we'll just keep going until gas stops flowing, and you'll know because the electronic fuel pump is going to make a different pitch. Now this system has 2 fuel filters in line, one that we just looked at in the boot, and then one that was aftermarket installed up here by the electronic fuel pump on the other side. So 2 fuel filters, it's passing through a fuel pressure regulator, and then it's going into this gas jug, which also has a filter in there. So I think that should be fine. Any fuel that does end up going in there should be pretty good. And this car ran, so it's not like the fuel was absolutely horrible. I just think it was clogging up and reducing fuel pressure. Again, taking a look at the fuel filter up here in the engine bay this time, it is absolutely filthy. Has a bunch of rust and sediment in it. This was brand new, so it's a lot going on, but we're about ready to start dropping the fuel tank out. So I haven't researched anything on how to pull this out, but let's just go at it. So we're going to start with our wiring for the fuel sender. So we have extra stuff that was doing who knows what, but let's not worry about that. This one, we got a bigger connector up top, and then the spade terminals on the bottom. There we go, just like that. We know we're going to have an in and probably an out as well, and they both appear to be right up there. There we go. So we can drop the fuel tank, lower it a little bit, and then get to that. What is this right here? I don't know if this is how you're supposed to do it, but I'm able to kind of shimmy this fuel tank cap off, and there we go. That was the part that just goes into the filler tube. Just popped off this line, which I'm calling the return line. Whatever this is, it's blocking it from getting out, so trying to do my best to get this free. There's a bolt that you can see right here by my thumb, but I can't really access it. I'm not sure what's up. And just as I close that clip out, managed to pop this out by breaking it, which perfectly fine. That's fine. Now there we go. Whatever this is, it's out. I don't know. Is that a old fuel filter or what? If you know, let me know. There we go. Now we won't be connected to anything. And now this would be easier if I had the trunk emptied, but I don't, so we'll make do. There we go. And there is our fuel tank. So there was a clamp up here that was supposed to connect this piece, but it was loose. So that's why I was able to turn this when it was in the car originally. Never understood, but that makes sense now. So let's undo this clamp and see if we can pull this out, and then we'll get a nice shot of the inside of the tank. And I can already hear crusties on the inside. Oh man, just what we can see right here. That's a lot of rust in there. And maybe you can hear when I swash it around. Sounds like sand. That is all of our rust particles. That's our issue. Now I need to make the decision. Is this repairable, or do I just need to bite the bullet and get a new gas tank? Alright, let's dump this, see what comes out. Are there baffles or something? Why is this difficult? Let's try the fuel cylinder hole. So I plugged this up. Okay, the fuel cylinder just pops right out. Now my gauge was working, so yeah, it looks good. In fact, I would say this probably did get replaced. The seal's not rusted or torn, cracked, I mean. Yeah, I think this did get replaced, and someone would have saw the tank and just left it. It's a lot of rust coming out. We're going to attempt to clean out the rust. So, step one, degrease the inside, get rid of that old gas varnish, and try to get as much of the rust loose flakes out. So, I got some, I don't think this is actually that what's in there, but basically I got some sort of degreaser. Just going to dump some in here. There wasn't much. There was like that much of the bottle left, so that's how much I put in. We'll put some water in, and then we'll slosh it around, we'll let it sit for a little bit, and dump it. There's a lot of gross stuff in here, so I'm just sloshing around. I've let the tank sit out in the sun for about an hour now and evaporate all the leftover water moisture that was inside there. Now it's time to start cleaning. So I'm just going to use some white vinegar. I got a gallon of white vinegar that I'm going to probably pour the whole thing in there. Just a random assortment of nuts or bolts. And I think I'm going to throw these chains in there too. Now these are chains for a engine cradle thing that goes atop the engine bay on the strut tower bars. I think I'm going to use this. I like chains for this idea because it's going to be a lot easier to remove. This I'm going to have to fish out with a magnet, but I think both will help, so let's just throw both in. I have the sending unit area blocked off. I think that should be fine. Just throw these in there. Alright, get our chains in there. There we go. So I'll move it around and then dump the vinegar in. Now when I take this, hear all the stuff inside. We hopefully are breaking up that loose rust. Gave it a couple good shakes. We have it upside down now with half a gallon of the white vinegar. And right now I'm just trying to make sure it doesn't leak out. And it seems to be doing good. There might be a slight leak, but I think this will be good enough to hold for at least an hour. We'll let it sit like this for an hour, come back, make sure we didn't just leak a bunch. The tape isn't sealing, which you could have guessed, but it's doing good enough. It's not making that big of a mess. So we'll just let it sit like this for a couple hours. Every so often we'll come back, we'll shake it up, agitate it more. I really want to focus on this side first because it's going to be kind of the most difficult to get to. That, and then also this side here with the opening. So we'll do those two hard to reach areas, and then we'll pour the rest of the white vinegar and let it sit on the bottom. It has been a couple days, maybe 3 or 4 days, since I've had the white vinegar in here, every so hours, maybe every 8 hours or something, I've come out here, shook it around, and then let it sit, and it sits overnight and all that. So hopefully we should be pretty cleared up. I've been rotating how it sits, whether like this, whether face down, on its back, on the side. Try and make sure that white vinegar gets everywhere. And I did end up putting a full 1 gallon of the white vinegar. So let's give it a nice shake, and then we're ready to rinse it out now. So this is what I pulled out of the tank after a quick little rinse. We got dirty, rusty white vinegar and some water mixed in. And here you can actually see all the sediment, rust that came out. I got my bolts and chain over there. So we are ready to neutralize this reaction. As you can see, it got rid of all the rust, but it's this light orange color. It's about to flash rust again. So we need to neutralize this. Don't know how much of this baking soda I need to put in, so I'm going to put in a bit. Pour some water, rinse it out until the water starts turning clean. And for this, I'm not going to seal it up because of the chemical reaction that's going to take place. I don't want it to cause too much pressure to build up on the inside. It's looking real nice on the inside. Let's dump this, and then we just need it to start drying. As you can see, the inside is much cleaner, and it looks like that all the way around. It's really hard to show on camera, but it's clean all the way around. But if we don't act quick, it's gonna flash rust like this. So I just dried out as much water as I could with this, and now we are going to put some sort of fluid in there to help seal it to prevent surface rust. I just put some lawnmower oil, just a tiny bit, not that much, and I'm going to throw in some seafoam as well. Seafoam is burnable, so that is good. Oil is not that burnable, so I don't want to have that much oil in there. All right, that should be enough for a thin coating, and with it sealed back up, give it a nice shake. As you see, I don't have the sender fully hooked up, but we'll give it a nice shake regardless. I got seafoam coming out. If I can get everything coated, then it won't rust. I'm happy with that. I need to let this sit until I can come back and actually reinstall it. I finally got time to install the gas tank. Now this took a lot longer than it should have. Typical. Now what you need to do, what the trick is, to not put the fill hose on, leave it off, and then it slides right in. Take off the back panel here on the interior that you see up there. Now you have access to the top, and you can then put the rubber hose in, then put the fill cap on, and then tighten everything down. Previously that was not tight when I got the car. Never knew till I started doing this job. So, but we got it fully situated now, and I did just spend a couple minutes turn the fuel pump on to pump out all the fuel that I put in it, that mixture with oil and stuff. So this is what came out, and it looks pretty fuely. It smells like gas. I think it will still burn, and that's all that came out. So I just put another gallon in the tank. I think if we put that back in and then top it off with a couple more gallons of fuel, this car will have no problem burning that. So that's going to be the plan. I found another one of these smaller fuel filters, threw that in there real quick. It's running a little funny, but like I said, I haven't been able to top it off with more gas yet. I just put that oil mixture back in it. But we just got to go a little over a mile to a parts store, see if we can pick up a fuel filter, and then head back. I think the sending unit's leaking. I think I need to pick up a new gasket. So obviously if it's leaking, I want to do that before I fill it up with gas. But idling away. Yeah, it's not really happy revving. That could just be my bad gas. Alright, well, let's see if we can make it to the parts store. Made it to the parts store. I don't see any fuel, but maybe it's just too low. So maybe we do have to add a little bit to find out, but look at it flowing. Did not do that before. It smells a little bit like oil. Makes sense. I put oil in the fuel and I can tell there's a loss of power, but hey, we made it. So gonna get what I need and then head back home. We made it back home, no issues. In fact, it started running better. I think more of that oil started burning off and there's more gas mixture in there. But man, it's peppy again. It's back. Man, a year ago that wouldn't have happened. So I'm gonna look up a gasket for the sender. Typically whenever you do open them, you do need to replace them anyway, so I think I'm gonna see about ordering one to replace that before I put more gas in it. Our new fuel filter has some stuff in it. There's a lot of little stuff that I just wasn't able to get, and that's typical. So we'll just have to go through a couple filters in the beginning, keep our eye on it, and then eventually it will clear up. But yeah, there is some stuff in here, but it's not like it was before. But keep our eye on it, obviously. And up here, this one I didn't replace. I need to order one up and get that one replaced. But otherwise, we are in much better shape than we were a year ago. So I'll see about replacing that gasket, and I'll keep an eye on this fuel filter. But otherwise, we can start moving on to other things. Thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next one.